A critical skill to develop if you want to become an effective communicator, in fact, a great professional, a great leader, is the power to effectively listen. Now, when we listen, we often forget the key elements to it. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 strategies on how you can be a better listener in any situation. The first strategy is simply to pay attention and try to understand what the other person is saying. Pay attention and try to understand what the other person is saying. So what does this mean? Well, oftentimes when people speak, they don't necessarily have the ability to communicate what they truly intended to say. They just send some words out, but it doesn't often reflect what they really wanted to get across. And so as an effective leader, a great listener, what you're trying to do is trying to understand deeper meaning in terms of what they're trying to communicate. And oftentimes that means looking at their nonverbal communication to amplify or to support what it is that their mouth is saying. So their nonverbal communication is essentially their facial expressions, their body language, their gestures, their tone. Look at all of that to help truly get a better picture of what they are trying to get across. The second strategy is to demonstrate the fact that you are in fact listening. This is the behavioral side. That means nod your head. Use your voice to go, yeah. Give the other person some sort of cues that you are in fact listening. Maybe it's paraphrasing what they're saying. Maybe it's asking them questions. Because you have to remember that as they are speaking, they're trying to figure out whether or not you're listening and whether or not what they're trying to get across is getting through. So definitely show that behavioral side. The third strategy is to suspend judgment. Right? We all have that internal dialogue or that entire internal sense of jumping to the conclusion before the other person has said what they had set out to say. And that's essentially us putting our own perspective onto the other individual. There's a term called mirror imaging. When we don't truly understand where they're coming from or we don't truly understand how another person thinks, we mirror image our own thoughts and perspective onto them. And one of the byproducts of that is essentially judging what they're going to say before they actually get to the end. So the third strategy is simply do your best to be open-minded. Imagine that you have what's called an information blind spot, something that you might be missing, and just really try your very, very best not to put your own thoughts into the mind of the other individual. And this is a challenge, really, because if you think about it, the average person speaks at 150 words per minute. But you can process information, your brain can, at a far faster rate. So that leaves a lot of space, a lot of room for that judging to kick in. So I really encourage you to focus, be open-minded, and remember to suspend judgment. The fourth strategy is just simply to modify your environment to support listening. Because one of the biggest challenges to listening effectively is paying attention, or in other words, not being distracted. And I will tell you that more often than not, environment trumps willpower. And what I mean by that is you can will yourself to pay attention and listen as much as you want, but if there's computers going off around you, there's cell phones dinging, there's people talking, there's a lot of noise around you, it just becomes very difficult to listen effectively. So I would really encourage you to modify your environment. Maybe you move into a room that's a little bit quieter. Put your phone in another room. Turn off your phone, your computer, whatever it might be, so that you can pay attention and better understand what it is that they're trying to say. And then the fifth strategy is just simply to defer the conversation to another time if you are hurried. Because one of the other big challenges of effective listening is just we're always in a hurry, that we're just going in our minds, get to the point, get to the point, get to the point, and we're really not paying attention effectively. So if you find that you're in a situation where someone comes up to talk to you about something and you just don't have time, instead of crunching them into 5 minutes and say, you got 5 minutes to tell me what you want to get across, defer that conversation to a later time when you can devote more time, more attention, and that you're not hurried. So those are 5 strategies to effectively listen better. Good luck. If you're somebody who organizes training and development for your company and you're interested in developing their communication skills, networking skills, and public speaking presentation skills, well, I have a program for you. Contact me at john@johngodoy.com to learn more.